Today we're going to try 5 games from the 482 games in one collection. So for this, we are going to need our stylus, which I have handy and readily available. Now, let's scroll through here, because I reckon I seen something the other day which I quite enjoyed. And this is if I can find this again. Oh, hang on a minute. We have found it. Now, I found this game quite cool and entertaining because it actually has Mario in the background photography, graphics, or whatever you call it. Now I just picked the most basic thing. And see, that's kind of cool. This one I don't think needs the stylus, but yep, there we go. So I'm not going to play these for very long, but we are going to try them out. And I'm going to scroll through and just pick 5 games. I might need to start that again. Clearly not concentrating. And yeah, so just to try 5 games on here. I mean, you don't necessarily need to purchase a Nintendo DS to actually play games like this. I'm guessing you could go out and buy one of those arcade little handheld things that look like Game Boy. But I bought this because I thought it would, well, I still think it is more beneficial than the Switch, which is just like a continuous promotional tool for Nintendo, to the point where they made a Switch 2. Basically a money-making scheme is what I think the Switch is, and don't get me wrong, if you enjoy modern games, the Switch is great. You can play Fortnite and well, that's what I got it for, and you can play a few graphic heavy games, but the problem is you cannot play absolutely everything, and when it comes to backwards compatibility, there's just a lack of support, and pretty much you have to pay for an online account to play a lot of the older style games. In many ways, it's most likely more beneficial just to buy a Nintendo 64 or a Nintendo Wii or a DS, obviously. And yeah, that's just how I see it. So I sold my Switch, and this is what I got instead, and I think it's much more valuable. So far, I've only been using this 482 games in one, because they have some pretty fun old Mario games on it. You can tell I'm probably not very good at this game, but I'm just giving a demonstration. It has some very fun, unique sounds. Oh god. I am going to sweat a lot in this shirt. I do have I'll call it a hot lamp, but it's actually a Bunnings light, because that's all I can afford at the moment. But anyway, so in the future I'll end up buying a Pokemon game. I actually will download one first, to see if I like it, because I don't think I was ever much into Pokemon games, but if I can get something that's as exciting as Pokemon Go, where I can enjoy myself, that would be great too. But for now, yeah. And I like the market for the DS. I think it's a little bit different to the Switch. It's very hard to explain because you can actually go out and buy the game for the Switch, and it seems like the games will be a fixed price, even second-hand. It's sort of hard to find a fair price second-hand, in my opinion, of course. And even at a market, it's sort of difficult to find a decent price for a Switch game, and even on places like eBay or Marketplace, it's still very difficult to find a Switch game that is cheap. But with Nintendo DS, I've been to a few antique stores, and I'm just gonna die. And I've actually been able to see and notice that there's a variation in pricing for DS games based on sellers. So let's move on to the next game, shall we? One of the probably selling points of this cartridge is this game right here. And we'll just play a race rather than trying to play a battle. And I will pick Toad, just for shits and giggles. And, well, I guess I'll pick the basic car. And let's go. Right. I'm going to pick pretty much random games from this cartridge as a means of showing you what other, I don't know, low tier games are on here, not just Mario, but I am going to show you what you do get that holds the cartridge value. Yeah, but this is a DS game, not a 3DS game, and the cartridge is filled with DS games. So the one before this, the older consoles version, and so when I switch to 3D in the corner here, it actually does not engage because it's not compatible with its software, right? It's not designed for it. I'm not sure how many laps there are. Okay, 3. And I'm coming first or 7th? Oh, first. And I mean, there's a lot of I think in the last few years there's been a lot of promotional content based on classic arcade machines, and there's things you can buy out there, and one of them is called the Pandora's Box, which I do own. It's basically an arcade machine with joysticks for the tabletop and mashing buttons, which you could build your own arcade machine with, or just stick it on your tabletop basically and plug it into your TV. And it has an SD card and whatever you need. And then of course there are these, I think, Raspberry Pi designed handheld consoles that look like Game Boys, and they have pretty much similar to this on them, which is like, you know, hundreds or thousands of games, and there's many variants out there of the classic arcade machines, which are fantastic, and I still think it would be a hilarious saving technique for anyone who has their grandchildren over, and just get them to put their money in there, and basically that money can go away for grandparents, or quite literally they could just save the money for the grandchildren through that. Alright, let's move on to the third game. There's quite a few of them. So let's try Toy Story 3. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried this one yet. It could be complete trash, but there are a lot of games on here that even if they have a brand name to them, they are still crap, because they just weren't designed to ever have a game that was any good. And it's hard to get a good game. Like, even I don't even know if Harry Potter should have really had a game, or, you know, movies that make games. I mean, that could be a lot of franchises that are successful, based on having video games too. Like Star Wars is a pretty successful series with video games as well, you know. Alright, this looks pretty decent. No, it requires a stylus, which already annoys me, because they could have just made it so that, you know, I could just move around and actually... Oh, frick. That's not bad, but it is a bit annoying. Oh! Oh god. Alright, now we're going to jump this train. Here... Well, this does look familiar. I might have played this on the PlayStation or something like that. And... Oh god. Oh jeez. Definitely got a challenge on our hands here. Whoa. Jesus. No, we dead. Oh. It's funny to think about children type games, how strange it is to show them the world where someone could be on top of a train, despite the fact that being on top of a train would be very dangerous, and probably not a good thing to teach a child, to actually stand on top of a train and run along it. Not complaining, but I think it's hilarious just to think of the most basic things that no one thinks about. It just seems so effed up. Like, even just subliminal messages in kids' movies, and even thinking about innuendos and adult jokes, basically, is quite interesting. But most of the time, children actually don't understand what's going on. They're not really hyper-focused in it, but you do get older and you do go back and watch your favourite movies and you do understand a bit more. That's when it gets a bit problematic, I guess. But yeah, that wasn't my argument just then. My argument was like, I find it weird that, you know, I wonder how many people think of how weird it is to show a child that jump across a train platform. I don't know if there's another purpose for this, if we're going to end up at a train station. A lot of these older games just remind me of mobile phone games. But really, these came first, obviously, but yeah. And it's funny how they picked a stylus for something like this as well, when they could have actually allowed the mechanics to be controlled by the joy, the buttons right here, you know?
Hey, this should come in handy.
Waddle, waddle, waddle. Alright, let's move on to our next game of choice. The Wild Chicks and the Hunt for something. That's the name of a beer. Anyway. Yep, we're gonna need the stylus again. Oh god. It's just another trashy game. God. This is like something you'd get on a Leap pad for a child. Basically a Leap pad is like a learning pad. Looks like an iPad type thing, and you put little cartridges in it, and the games are two-dimensional. It's like some weird crap like drawing pictures or spotting the difference in the room. Okay, where shall we go? To the school. Okay. I'm scared. Ah, okay. Here we go. Here we go. We're making food. Okay. What do we want to do? What do we make? Oh, we're making an omelette, right? So, what's the plan? I wasn't paying attention, as obviously you can tell. So I don't care about this. Wrong utensil. A knife. Oh, cool. It's kind of fun. What are we doing with the cheese? We want cheese. So how do we cut the cheese? I'm probably going to give up because I don't understand. Leave the mixture of eggs and milk to set in the pan for 3 minutes. Stir 3 eggs. Cut 1 salami. Okay, but how do I get that knife that we had from earlier? Where's that knife you promised me? Call me like a dumbass here, but can we be not sanitary? You know? Not sanitary, please. So we've got that. How do we do the milk? That's the other question. Because we've got to make a good omelette. If we don't make a good omelette, it's not gonna go well. He's getting mad at me. That's what's happening. So we want. Oh, we're grating cheese. We're not cutting cheese. It's not a lot of cheese from that one block, mate. And how do we do the milk? taken me like 9 years to bloody make an omelette. Can we just shove it in? Look, that was game number 4. Let's try CSI. I don't have faith in this. At all. Okay. Look, I'm getting this stylus out because we just don't know if there's gonna be a need for it. Alright, so we got an introduction. And let's see if it's just going to be like you're inside some sort of office and you have to do some weird stuff, but I'm not familiar with this game. Wally. My name is Wally. Alright, Sarah. Give it to me. Oh god. Very two-dimensional so far. That's the other great thing about this console, is it's Nintendo Classic oriented, so you don't have to pay a membership just to, play all your favourite classic games, like with the Switch. And that's where it sets it apart, and you can keep its value and just basically collect them as art and collect them to swap them out and play whatever console you like, and pick different variants and colours, and it's not all just one, There's an art form behind it, right? So who should I be talking to? Okay, so it's a very basic game. I am going to play a bonus because this is ridiculous. Four, 2, 5. That's a suspicious situation, isn't it? Now I want to know what I can do. Relevancy, please. Right, so we're playing Cluedo. CSI Wally W9 2, pleased to meet you. Did I screw up my name? Alright. Calling it quits, let's pick a bonus game. Mario Bros, right? Let's give that a crack, mate. Most basic bitch game. Well, a little bit three-dimensional with the graphics, which is kind of cool. This is definitely my first time playing this. Don't get me wrong, I've played a lot of random stuff in the past, and that's due to friends and when I was younger, but I hadn't been heavily into it. I remember going to my nan's in her little unit. She did have an N64, I think it was, and yeah, she had all the Mario games back then, and so yeah, but now, oh god, but now in recent times for me it's been, well actually I've sort of followed Nintendo a tiny bit. I started with the Wii, and then it went to the Wii U I had for a little bit. And then the Switch. And now this, but realistically I wasn't playing a lot of Nintendo games in my, teens or anything like that. I only started really getting into it or enjoying it because of a mate who played a lot of it. It's great fun. Oh god. Let's just try and get this done correctly without screwing this up. Alright, one more turn and I will call it quits. I lied. Let's do one more. It's hard to talk and, Ooh, where you taking me? Where you bloody taking me? Back to square one. Right, now I mean it. Last one. No, didn't get it. Now I've got to fucking get past this guy. Oh. Right. Well, thanks for joining me. That was picking 5 games on the 482 in 1 game cartridge. And I hope to see you on the next one. I will try and show you a bit more next time. We'll see how we go. So there's the beautiful DS. There it is. And thank you for watching.